So here at level 5, what we're going to start to look at is, so what do we actually do with the pressure? We have got some thoughts about what triggers stress. We've got some thoughts about what triggers pressure in us. We've got some thoughts about urgency and importance and pushing back. So what do we do when pressure starts to hit? And here are some thoughts which may help deal with that situation. The first thing to do is to step back and think. Get some time. Time is critical. It's very difficult to do it in the moment. Take some time to analyze role and desire, personal capacity, workload sources, the things that you want out of working life, the things that we want, the things that we want to achieve, the personal capacity we have at the time, and the sources of work that are coming to us. And as we start to think that through, let's imagine we stop and think, actually, I'm a very ambitious person. I want a high level of success. It might be worth dealing with certain pressures in certain ways by focusing on the very high key pressures that will give us a good reputation. We might have, for example, another example, a reduction in personal scope and capacity because of other things that are happening in our lives. So we might decide to deal with our pressures and our work pressures in a given way by partitioning them off, which gets us to the box up and schedule advice here. Boxing up and scheduling is a way of thinking of splitting a problem down to its small parts. So with workload sources, for example, you might have multiple sources and think, right, I'm going to box them up. I'm going to deal with these one at a time. I'm going to reduce the pressure of each one. Same with role and desire. I'm a very ambitious person, so I'm going to box up the main priorities and deal with those one at a time. As we box up and schedule when we're going to deal with things and deal with one issue at a time, then we can find a way through this overwhelming sense of work pressure into, I am organizing this into boxes. Of course, with more capacity, you'd have more boxes. With less capacity, you probably lower the number of boxes, but box things up. Be aware of our responses when we are given work. What our responses to work governs the reputation we're going to have and the workload that we're going to get. Now, this, of course, is the reputation journey of somebody who says no to everything. Their reputation in the workplace just descends and crashes. But what is the reputation of somebody who says yes all the time? Well, the answer is it initially grows, but then it crashes anyway, because we cannot do all the work. The answer with all of the handling of pressure is to push back, is to negotiate. And it's with this negotiation that gradually we build an excellent reputation for handling work pressure and delivering to others. And in that spirit, I thought I'd show you 9 phrases, 9 statements you can use, 9 ways of speaking that you could use to handle the pressure of the moment. I'll just pick out a couple as you read them there. I do like the one right in the middle. I'm prepared to talk more and move my position on this, but I do need you to move as well. I'm prepared to do more work on this, but I do need you to give me less work in another area, for example. So you're pushing back. If you go to the left of that, the one on the left, I want to be direct and honest with you about what can be achieved and what cannot. We can achieve X, we cannot achieve Y. And this is really, really clear that you are pushing back in a constructive, professional way. The top left, I do like that too. I understand, but to achieve that, I need you to do this. How can you help? So you're pushing the problem back. If the request is genuine, of course, people will help. The top right, I think, is very powerful and very strong if you're pushing back with workload pressure. What you're asking me for now requires a whole reassessment. This is what I suggest to move forwards. If you like, you're closing the doors to everything and saying, let's talk again. All of these, as you scan them, are techniques for you to push back against pressure and test whether that pressure is acceptable and whether that pressure is helpful to you. So use those techniques to push back with pressure at the time, but do think through the sources of your pressure and box up your responses.